Come in here, zombie. That 9 mil? 9 mil? 9 mil? 9 mil? 45 ACP. Now. Yes, I'll take that sight. Already done that one. BK. I didn't kill that zombie. How you doing, guys? Jay here, a little voiceover action during this video to help explain what's going on and how I track this player down. So, it begins in Staroye tents. I find the dead zombie as you see in front of you. Now this gives me an indication that somebody's been around very recently. They could still be right here, I don't know that. But the other zombies being alive and only finding one dead zombie indicates that he's probably been gone for a while. Now he can only be gone for so long because that zombie would have despawned otherwise. So I know I'm reasonably close to him. At the minute I think he's probably in the town. But as we go on we will discover more. But we're like 5 minutes behind a player. Max. Now, where would I go? If I just looted here, I'd go down to the town, actually. Depends where he came from. Do I think there's a player down in the town? Because you do kind of one or two ways. You either loot the town and then go to the tents, or you loot the tents then go to the town. And given what I found in the town, like in the medical, gives me the impression that he went to the tents first. So I'm going to quickly go down here and overwatch the village for a second. And if I don't see him, I'm going to assume that he's gone towards Novi or Goglovo. And we're going to chase him that way. So, tracking players in DayZ is all about the process of elimination. I've already been in the town of Staroye. There were no dead zombies. I found good loot. Looked like nobody else had been through and looted it. Then I went to the tents and I found the dead zombie. So, right now, unless I see smoke, which I don't see, I'm going to assume he hasn't been to the town and he's moved on. I'd never make one here, but that doesn't mean other people wouldn't. I don't see any smoke. Alright, let's go. I know where he might be, so let's chase him down. So if I was him, I would either make the fire. There's a shed up here, and there's a village down here. So we go check the shed first, and then if he's not there, we'll check the village. So the two options in front of me now are Goglovo, which is to the northwest of Staroye, and Shakovka, which is straight north of Staroye. Now, my initial gut reaction is he's gone to Goglovo. That's what I'd do. I would go to Goglovo. But we check this shed up here. We see no fire. We see open doors. And he's not there. So, I'm going to head down to Shakovka and check it, because it's a decent enough town to loot. Not many people go there. Most people will go to Goglovo and head on to Novi Sobor. So, given that he hasn't made a fire there, and he didn't make one in Staroye, I feel like he has to make one soon. Because on this map, you can get frostbite, and you can die from the cold, which means you have to make fires reasonably regularly, especially in the early game, while you build your frost resistance. So I'm going to track him down as far as Shakovka, and see what happens. Yeah, the fact that I keep finding nothing in these deer stands, that's also convincing me that I'm right. Like, he's just been here and he's picked up a knife or something like that. And now he's headed down into the town and make himself a little fire. And I'm going to run in behind him and blap blap. Stop for a sec, look for smoke. Don't see any. Don't see any, see my own breath, but I don't see smoke. Alright, log cabin. Red house. and Mustache. They're my favourite locations for where there will be a fire. So, why Log Cabin, Red Stilted, and why Mustache? By and large, players will make fires there because they have large fireplaces, which will allow you to cook more meat faster. Also, the Red Stilted house is elevated, which gives you a nice little bit of security, or at least it feels that way. Log Cabin has 2 doors you have to go through if you want to get access to the player, and it's the same with Mustache House, which is why I think those are the 3 most likely places for him to be. So I prioritize those, and if I see zombies, dead zombies, aggro zombies, that will give me a little bit of an extra steer on where he might be. Open doors everywhere. I don't see any dead zombies. Dead chicken? Boys, this is like... I feel like the dude in Predator. The fucking Native American guy who hunts people down. So, why is the dead chicken important? The dead chicken is important because when you kill an animal, its condition goes to ruined. And ruined items don't last long on the server. They despawn reasonably quickly. So, while sometimes you might find paper on the ground from somebody opening ammunition, or you might find some other dropped loot on the ground, that stuff can last quite a while. And it's not a great indicator of how long it's been since there was a player around. The dead chicken, dead animals, dead zombies, they're a much better indicator of the time frame within which a player has been nearby. And it's a short one, so we know we're close to him, or at least we're within 5 minutes of his last position. Additionally, I know that all the doors being open are quite a sign for me, because this server has just reset. And when the server resets, DayZ has it set so that some of the doors will respawn open, and some of them will respawn closed. So when you find all of the doors open, you know that somebody's been around. So this gives me further information that somebody has been through here reasonably recently. And because they've looted all the buildings, or almost all of the buildings, I know that I'm catching up. I'm not further away than I was when I saw the dead zombie. I know I'm catching up because I'm not looting every house. I'm not checking everything. So I'm closing the gap on this guy, bit by bit. Like a barn over here somewhere on this road. And we're definitely close enough to catch up with him. Like, that dead zombie is just such a giveaway. Where's the barn? It's here somewhere. There it is. I don't see any smoke, but it's the good thing about the barns is you don't see the smoke. Let's get close, let our stamina build, and then storm the building. Doors closed. That's a sign. Now there's nowhere to build a fire in here. What the fuck? Sadly, we're gonna have to just make our fire here for ourselves, and hopefully we didn't run past the dude, and now we become the guy who gets hunted. So right now, it feels like the trail has gone cold. I've tracked him through from Staroye tents, all the way through Shakovka, down to this barn. This is the last place that you would reasonably expect somebody who has to build a fire to keep warm, remember, to stop. So I have to stop now, and I have to build a fire. This is a little bit disheartening,
But again, because I know he has to build a fire, I'm not losing massive amounts of time by doing this myself. We're both going to have to do it. It kind of puts us on level playing field. He will have to stop and make a fire unless his frost resistance is huge. And if his frost resistance was that big, he wouldn't be here. These are near spawn towns. These are pretty low tier areas. If you've got high frost resistance, you've been alive for a long time. We're talking multiple hours, 4, 5, 6 hours in game time. So I'm pretty confident, even though I feel like I've lost the trail a little bit, that I'm not losing time on him. I'm not losing ground by stopping to make this fire.
This is a bit of a punt through the woods. I'm not 100% sure on this. Just heard a shot, like, quite a long way away. I'm not going to bother chasing it. There's no point. It'll be long gone before I get there. It's going to continue on to Gorka as planned.
Tracking this guy from Shukovka, there's only really one place he can go, and that is towards Gorka. So Gorka is a town further north of Shukovka. You have to go through some forest and some open areas, as you're seeing. Now, between Shukovka and Gorka, there are maybe 3 or 4 buildings. There are a couple of red stilted and green stilted houses. There's a bar, and then there's a mustache house. The mustache house is far more isolated than all of the other houses, and it's a perfect place to make your fire. So, as I approach a river, it dawns on me that up that river is probably the house, because I know this area reasonably well. And if I was a player who hadn't made a fire since Staroye, remember, then I would probably want to stop in the woods somewhere and make a fire, and this house would be a great place to do it.
There is a house near Gorka town. There it is. Well, there's a thing, a wagon thing, but the house is the other side of it. I don't know if you guys can see it through the trees. Through them trees. So, I don't know if you guys know this, but any house that's on its own like this is designated as a hunting spawn. So there's a good chance of finding hunting loot in it. Also a good chance of finding a player who made a fire in it. There's someone in there. Look at the light inside.
Now, you might ask at this point, how do you know that this is the guy you tracked from Staroye? And the reality is, I can't say for 100% certainty. But what I will say is, I found that body, I tracked, found open doors, found another dead chicken, which gives me, again, an indication of how long ago this guy was around. Then I rock up to this fire in the middle of nowhere. This is a really secluded area. I'm highly confident that this is the guy I've been looking for. And we'll take it from here, but the hard part has only really begun now, because now I have to take him on. And he's in the house. He can hold the angles. I'm outside. I've got to storm this.
I want him to go upstairs. You see that window there? That's where I expect him to go. I want to cover the front door and hope that he pops that window or peeks that window. The grenades don't go where you throw them anymore. I swear, man. I used to be so good with grenades. And now, not so much. But hey, look, we tracked the guy down, right? Oh my god, what a time for the game to freeze. Jesus Christ. You ready? This is death or glory. Did he just log out? No fucking way he logged out. Woo! Holy shit. He's dead, right? Yeah, he's dead.
A huge part of tracking people in DayZ is making educated guesses. The more you learn the map, the more you're able to eliminate possibilities. The reality is, I might have missed him. It might not have dawned on me to come to this house. He might have went a different way. You can't always track players. They don't always do predictable things. But reasonably good players will do predictable things. And it's not necessarily predictable as much as it is just the right thing to do. You're trying to progress in the map. You're trying to go from lower tier to higher tier. And this is one of the routes you can take. So, with that knowledge and a little bit of luck on my side, let's be honest, it worked out well for me. And I managed to get the kill this time, which was pretty damn sweet. To track a player like this in DayZ is fun. It's real fun. Pay attention to what's going on around you. There will be little indicators of where people are, where they've gone, where they might be going. And if you can pick up on these things and use them to your benefit, you can have some really interesting experiences just like this one. So this was all recorded live on my Twitch channel. I'd really enjoy it if you guys check it out. Come and see me stream. I stream 6:30 p.m. GMT to roughly 11 or beyond 11 p.m. Monday to Saturday. We have great fun in the streams, so be sure to pop along and join us on one of these adventures. It's real good.
Well, I'm not taking both of them. Alright, GG boys. GG.